Canada, the secret history of the Great White North. Part 1. Introduction. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome back to English Parchment. We are so happy to have you with us today as we travel to the top of the world to explore a land of ice, forests, and hidden stories. This channel is your home for learning English through the most interesting topics in history and culture. Before we begin our journey into the Great White North, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support is what allows us to keep creating these 20-minute lessons for you, and we love having you as part of our global community. Now, I want you to imagine a country so large that you could fit 40 United Kingdoms inside it. Imagine a land where there are more lakes than in the rest of the world combined. A place where, in the winter, the temperature can drop to -40 degrees, yet the people are famous for being the most polite on Earth. What if I told you that the history of Canada is not just about maple syrup and hockey? What if I told you that Vikings landed here 500 years before Columbus? Or that a private company once owned nearly 40% of the entire country? Or that Canada was the promised land for thousands of people escaping slavery in the United States? Today we are going to look behind the curtain of Canadian history. We will discover the secret history of the Great White North. If you stay with us until the end of this video, I will share the story of the Whisky War, a 50-year conflict where not a single drop of blood was spilled. And I'll explain why the maple leaf is much more than just a pretty symbol. Let's explore Canada. Part 2. The First Nations, 14,000 years of history. Many people think the history of Canada started when European explorers arrived. But the secret truth is that the story of this land is much, much older. For at least 14,000 years, the land was home to the indigenous peoples, also known as the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. These people didn't just live on the land, they mastered it. In the frozen north, the Inuit invented the igloo and the kayak, technologies so perfect that we still use their designs today. In the Great Forests, the First Nations built longhouses and developed complex systems of government. They had a deep spiritual connection to nature. They believed that the earth didn't belong to humans. Instead, humans belonged to the earth. One of their most famous traditions is the totem pole. These giant wooden carvings were not gods, they were books made of wood. They told the history of a family, the stories of their ancestors, and the legends of the animals. Understanding Canada today is impossible without respecting these 14,000 years of wisdom that came before the first European ship ever appeared on the horizon. Part 3. The Secret Pioneers, the Vikings. If you open a history book, it might tell you that John Cabot discovered Canada in 1497. But the real secret is that Europeans had already been living in Canada 500 years earlier. In the year 1000, a Viking explorer named Leif Erikson sailed west from Greenland. He landed in a place he called Vinland because of the wild grapes he found there. For a long time, people thought this was just a myth or a legend. But in 1960, archaeologists found something incredible at a place called L'Anse aux Meadows in Newfoundland. They found the ruins of Viking houses, iron nails and tools. This was proof. The Vikings were the first Europeans to step foot in North America. They stayed for a few years, but the winter was too harsh, and the distance from home was too far. They eventually left, and the secret of Vinland was forgotten for centuries. Imagine how different history would be if the Vikings had decided to stay. Canada would be a very different place today. Part 4. The Fur Trade. Beaver hats as currency. In the 1600s, Europe had a fashion obsession. Beaver hats. Everyone in London and Paris wanted a hat made of beaver fur because it was waterproof and very warm. This fashion trend is the reason modern Canada exists. French and British explorers realized that Canada was full of beavers. They started the fur trade. This wasn't just a business, it was the foundation of the country. In 1670, the King of England gave a special charter to a group of businessmen, creating the Hudson's Bay Company. This company was given a secret power. They were the absolute owners of all the land that drained into Hudson Bay. This was a massive area called Rupert's Land, covering nearly 40% of modern Canada. For 200 years, this private company was the government of the wilderness. They built forts, made maps, and traded with the indigenous peoples. In Canada, the beaver is not just a cute animal, it is the architect of the nation's economy. Part 5. The Battle for Quebec, French versus British. Because of the fur trade, both France and Britain wanted to control Canada. This led to a long and bitter struggle. The French called their colony New France, with its center in the beautiful city of Quebec. In 1759, the conflict reached a climax at the Battle of the Plains of Abraham. In a battle that lasted only 15 minutes, the British defeated the French and took control of Quebec. But the secret success of Canada was what happened after the war. Instead of forcing the French people to become British, the British government passed the Quebec Act in 1774. This allowed the French people to keep their Catholic religion, their French laws, and most importantly, their French language. This is why, today, Canada is a bilingual country. When you visit Montreal or Quebec City, you are stepping into a piece of history that refused to disappear. The two solitudes, the French and the English, learned to live together, creating the unique cultural mosaic of Canada. Part 6. The Underground Railroad, the Land of the North Star. In the mid-1800s, Canada became a symbol of hope for thousands of people. In the United States, slavery was legal in many states, but in Canada, slavery was abolished in 1833. This led to the creation of the Underground Railroad. It wasn't a real railroad with trains, it was a secret network of safe houses and brave people who helped enslaved people escape to the north. They used the North Star as their guide. For these people, Canada was known as Canaan, the Promised Land. Over 30,000 African Americans reached Canada through this secret network. They settled in Ontario and Nova Scotia, building new lives as free citizens. This part of history is a source of great pride for Canadians. It established the idea that Canada is a place of refuge, a safe harbor for those escaping injustice. Part 7. Confederation, the country, born at a party. Most countries are born through violent revolutions or long wars, but Canada was born through meetings and parties. In the 1860s, the different colonies in Canada were worried. They were afraid that the United States might try to take over their land. They decided they needed to unite. In 1864, leaders met at the Charlottetown Conference. The secret history of this meeting is that it was very social. The leaders spent as much time dancing and having dinners as they did talking about politics. They realized that they liked each other and that they had a shared vision. On July 1st, 1867, the British North America Act was passed, and Canada became a dominion. This is why July 1st is Canada Day. Canada didn't fight a war to leave the British Empire. It simply asked politely, and the British said yes. Part 8. The Impossible Railway, connecting the coasts. After Canada became a country, it had a huge problem. It was a giant land with very few people and no way to travel from the east to the west. The province of British Columbia on the Pacific coast said they would only join Canada if the government built a railway to connect them to the rest of the country. Engineers said it was impossible. They had to build through thousands of kilometers of rock, swamps, and the giant Rocky Mountains. But they did it. The Canadian Pacific Railway was finished in 1885. The secret of the railway is that it was built by thousands of immigrant workers, especially from China. These workers faced dangerous conditions and were treated very poorly. But without their hard work, Canada might have split into 2 or 3 different countries. The railway was the iron ribbon that tied the nation together. It allowed people to move across the continent and turned Canada into a true transcontinental nation. Part 9. The Arctic Secrets. Franklin's Lost Expedition. Canada's north is a place of great beauty, but also great danger. In the 1800s, many explorers were obsessed with finding the Northwest Passage, a sea route through the Arctic ice to reach Asia. The most famous secret mystery is the Franklin expedition. In 1845, Sir John Franklin sailed with 2 ships and 129 men. They completely disappeared. For 170 years, no one knew what happened to them. Indigenous Inuit stories told of ghost ships and men starving in the ice. But European explorers didn't listen to them. Finally, in 2014 and 2016, using modern technology and Inuit knowledge, the wrecks of the 2 ships, the Erebus and the Terror, were found at the bottom of the ocean. This discovery solved a 170-year-old mystery. It reminded the world that the Arctic is a powerful force, and that the people who live there, the Inuit, have the secret knowledge needed to survive in the harshest environment on Earth. Part 10. The Mosaic, a different kind of society. You may have heard of the melting pot in the United States. This is the idea that everyone who comes to the country should melt together and become the same. But Canada has a different secret philosophy, the multicultural mosaic. In Canada, people are encouraged to keep their own culture, language, and traditions while being proud Canadians. If you visit Toronto or Vancouver, you will see neighborhoods like Little Italy, Chinatown, and Little India all living side by side. In 1971, Canada became the first country in the world to adopt an official policy of multiculturalism. The idea is that a country is stronger when it is made of many different pieces, like a beautiful mosaic. This is why you can find every kind of food, every kind of music, and every kind of religion in Canadian cities. It is a social experiment that has made Canada one of the most diverse and peaceful countries in the world. Part 11. The Whisky War, the Politest conflict in history. As I promised at the beginning, let's talk about the Whisky War. This is the most Canadian conflict ever. There is a tiny, empty island between Canada and Greenland, which is part of Denmark, called Hans Island. Both countries claimed the island was theirs. Instead of fighting with guns or soldiers, they fought with alcohol. Every few years, the Canadian Navy would land on the island, take down the Danish flag, put up the Canadian flag, and leave a bottle of Canadian rye whiskey. A few months later, the Danish Navy would arrive, take down the Canadian flag, put up the Danish flag, and leave a bottle of Danish schnapps. This war lasted for nearly 50 years. Finally, in 2022, they agreed to simply split the island in half. It is a perfect example of Canadian diplomacy. Why fight when you can just share a drink and be polite? Part 12. The maple leaf, more than just syrup. Finally, let's talk about the maple leaf. You see it on the flag, you see it on hockey jerseys, and you see it on bottles of syrup. But the leaf has a secret meaning. For the early settlers, the maple tree was a lifesaver. In the early spring, when the food was almost gone, the indigenous people taught the Europeans how to collect the sap from the trees and boil it into sugar. It provided energy and vitamins when they were most needed. The maple leaf represents resilience. Like the maple tree, Canada is a country that survives long, hard winters and comes back even stronger in the spring. It represents a people who are quiet and humble, but incredibly tough. Whether it is playing hockey on a frozen lake or welcoming refugees from around the world, the spirit of the maple leaf is about kindness, strength, and community. Part 13. Conclusion and Call to Action. We have traveled from the ancient cultures of the First Nations to the Viking ruins, through the dangerous fur trade and the secret paths of the Underground Railroad, all the way to the Whisky War. Canada's history is a story of many different people: French, British, Indigenous, and immigrants from every corner of the globe, learning to build a home in a beautiful frozen wilderness. It is a story of being polite, but also being strong. I hope this video has helped you improve your English and given you a new perspective on the Great White North. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Which secret of Canadian history did you find most interesting? Was it the Vikings, the Underground Railroad, or the 50-year Whisky War? Tell us in the comments below. We love reading your thoughts and supporting your learning journey. If you enjoyed this 20-minute lesson, please give the video a thumbs up and share it with a friend who loves history and travel. And if you haven't already, subscribe to English Parchment so you never miss our upcoming adventures. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your attention. And as they say in Canada, happy learning. I will see you in the next video.